What's going on? Welcome back. So we are here in Aldie, Virginia. We are in my brother's wood shop and we're going to build this console. You guys saw the mock-up in the last video and now it's time to build it. What's up, Guinness? Let the games begin. All right. This is my brother Jimmy. We'll call him Jimmy Mac. What you doing?
So basically what I'm doing is I'm cutting your frame. I'm cutting your frame out. So what we do is we did a map of the frame over here on some brown paper, labeling each piece, A, B, C, D, E, F. This is the side profile. And what I'm doing is I'm cutting out the pieces to make the frame right now. So the first one we'll just move in clockwise order. So I mean, we're just going to work right around. So the first one we're doing is cutting. We got to cut two of everything. So we'll cut two boards at the same time. And the way I set this up is I got it all mapped out on the miter box, so we're going to cut it that way.
All right, let's cut some wood.
Here's part A.
So you're basically going to take this and trace this entire frame.
Correct.
With our skeleton.
Yep, and I'm labeling them A1 and A2 because you got two sides, two profile sides, so that way we know which ones go with which. So I don't confuse and say make this, say D1 and match it with D2. Shouldn't matter, but we're going to play.
Err on the side of caution.
Yep.
Sounds good. All right.
So here you can see we got B1. And we'll have B2, but B1 and B2 are going to need to be cut at an angle. So what I've got to do is I've got to match that angle. So that's how long it'll be, and then I got to figure out what that angle is. So I'll just take my sweet square.
All right. So where are we at, Jim?
So we finished cutting all our cuts for the frame. For the sides. So what I did was, like I was saying earlier, I drew a full-scale map based on your model. And then I laid all the pieces out. I just finished cutting them. And now what we're going to do is we're going to put them together so they stay in one shape, the shape that we want. We're going to use pocket holes on the inside. So we're going to use some glue to hold the joints together and then pocket holes, and that'll give you a nice strong connection point between these pieces of wood, so that when you eventually take this to skin it and then glass it, it will be very solid for you. Okay?
Solid.
Solid. For those of you who have not seen pocket holes, what we're going to do, we're going to put this into the jig, we'll clamp it down, and then this jig sets it up perfectly. It's going to allow me to drill pocket holes. Like I do is just, there's one. And there's two. And that's what they look like. Now what we can do is we can screw these into the side piece, and then that connection becomes a physical connection, and it's not watertight, but it's very strong. Okay.
All right. And we're just going to do that at every connection point around the front.
Yep, we'll do it at every joint.
All right, great.
See, now you got a tight joint.
Perfect.
Yep.
And you use stainless steel screws.
Stainless steel screws, so they won't rust on you.
Okay, what you're seeing here is one completed side, all framed out, glued and screwed. Using the pocket hole technique that we showed earlier, every joint is screwed and glued. Okay. Here we only went with the one because of the angle cut here. But as you can see, every corner is screwed and glued using stainless steel screws. And what we'll do now is we'll just go ahead and mimic this for the second side. Okay, so now we have two framed sides. as you saw marked out earlier by all that cutting we did. So now they're all screwed together with the pocket screw method. All the joints are glued. And now we move on to making some skins. All right, so what are we doing now? What phase are we at here?
So now we're just taking it and we're going to map out everything that we need to do here. We're going to try and actually get 2 pieces off of this one sheet for an economy of use, so you can keep your costs down. So as you can see, when we lay them out, we can get skins from both sides on one sheet.
There we go. All right, so it's all about making skins now. We framed everything out.
Yeah, today.
And now the outer shell of the console will cut out of these sheets of plywood.
Yeah.
Okay, so at this phase, we have fastened the frame to the plywood using these screws. And as you can see, they're just your normal common drywall type screws, which will be completely encased in fiberglass and epoxy, so rust is not a concern. But now we'll go ahead and take a router bit and we will trim off all the excess plywood, and then we will have one side skinned. So and that's the desired effect right there. That's what we're looking for. A nice tight seam between the skin and the frame, as you can see right here. And we're just going to continue to cut along this edge all the way around until we have them both cut. I'll show you when we're done.
You hold this one.
So just hold them like that. That's perfect. Okay. So you can see exactly how it's starting to come together. Like I originally said, it's going to be a low profile console because of the way I'm designing the interior of the boat. But now you have 2 sides, a port and starboard side. And now we're going to cut the spans across, finish framing out, and just continue on with this process. As you can see, it's coming together. Both sides of the console are framed and skinned. Moving on. Okay, so here's where we are up to this point. All framed out. Outer port and starboard sides are on. And all that's left is all the wood we ripped, cut it to the width we want, and fully skin out this console. Alright, so here we have the console together, all glued and screwed, framed and skinned, completely constructed and put together. I'm going to do my best to give you a walk around of it. I got a little bit of a tight space I'm working with here, so I apologize for the super close-ups, but I'll pan back and give you guys an idea of where we're at right now. As you're looking at the front seat facing the bow, backrest section, okay, side, and here's the dash. So access panel to be put here, wheel, controls, gauge, and switch panel, although I could probably put a switch panel down here. So lots of room to rig up what I want to do. So at this phase, with it all together, now we go ahead and we round out all these edges. We'll get all these edges routed nice and round, get all these corners softened up, and then it'll give it that finished look. So when I wrap this in fiberglass, it's just going to look, a whole lot better. And then obviously we'll fair it, get it smooth, and we'll
finish this thing up. We're going to put the round over on everything. I got a 3/8 round over bit in the router.
So basically we're just going to take a router and put some radiuses on every corner on this console.
Yep. Soften
it up because we don't want any sharp edges.
Correct.
So let's go ahead and rip one and see what we got.
All right, very good.
That's what we're after. Touch that up a little bit and do the rest of the
Well, you're going to have to
console.
sand everything, so.
And for those of you that wonder how much this weighs, it is not heavy. It is very light. Okay? I can pick it up, put it around, hold it with one hand. So it doesn't weigh a lot. Shouldn't weigh the boat down at all. And it's solid. Once we glass this and coat it with epoxy and glass, she's going to be real strong. She'll weigh a little bit more, but I'll still be able to pick it up and move it around with pretty much, you know, no problem at all. Okay, finished product. With a little wheel prop too, just to give you an idea of what the wheel will look like and the ergonomics sitting behind the console. Here we have it. Rounded corners, fake steering wheel.
The whole shebang.
The whole shebang. So that is it. That is the console. This is phase one. It is constructed, shaped, sanded, and now I have to glass it. So yep. So that's about going to do it from my brother's garage.
Hello.
All right, over and out. I'll see you guys back in Jersey when we start doing the finish work on this. Thanks a lot, guys.